Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Passive Money Plan. Alex, I got a would you rather for you since you have experience in both of them. So would you rather self-manage rental properties or use a third-party property manager?
Man, so on both of them, so with self-managing, I think some of the benefits is like you obviously you don't have to pay anybody. Um, you get to keep all, that 10% or whatever. And it's cool. It's nice to see that you're getting more of your rent than you would. Um, and maybe you in some aspects with like having a manager you might find that one bad manager that gives you some headaches and then you got to go find another one, so you're more in control, I guess. um and then with property management, they really handle everything. If you got a good property manager, they really handle everything. They are um they make things go really easy. And the reason why I got the property manager was because I was coming up on that time where I had to evict somebody, and it made life easy having someone taking care of that while I was in another state. So they both, I would say those are probably like the pros and cons for both of them. Is like on self-managing, you get to keep more rent, but you got to deal with all the headache. Having a property manager, you got to give up a little bit of the rent, but you have less headache. Um, Before I go in more though, do you have any questions or
Nope, you good. Go ahead.
no? Okay. Um, so and going back to, before I got the property manager, all my properties were self-managed. And I think the key with self-managing is you have to have good tenants. Like you always want good tenants. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's okay to have a bad one. But you have to have tenants that are just like with self-managing. My properties that I still currently self-manage, the tenants are a little bit older, so I don't hear from them as much. And when I do, it's a legitimate reason. It's not just to complain, it's not to talk about life, it's not some BS. It's like a legitimate reason they're calling, there's a damage, there's some kind of serious issue. Um, and if there's minor issues, they take care of it themselves. They've lived there for some time. It's their home. That's how they treat it, So, but with before, so I was self-managing all of my properties before, and then I came up on that time where I had to evict that tenant. And it was the inconvenience of time. If I wanted to go and evict them myself, I would have to appear at the courthouse. I would have to go send the eviction notice. I would have to notify them. I would have to find someone to clean. I would have to find somebody to re-rent the place, to turn over the unit. And so it was like I realized, man, like the amount of time this is gonna cost me and the amount of headache, like I could, I'm okay with paying someone $100 or something to do this. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me just call a property manager. And when they ahead and did everything and resolved the whole issue, and it was just peace of mind. Like they took over within a month later, property was re-rented, turned over, cleaned, everything was good, and then they just managed all the issues from there on. And from having that experience, I prefer property management. So,
Right.
so
Yeah, no, it's a I mean that I have experience in both halves. And everything that you mentioned about having a property manager and not managing it is there. The one thing that you did mention, good property management is great. But another hallmark of it is some property managers out there, they can be good in certain elements. They can be good at getting a tenant, but I'm just dealing with the property management scene on a bigger scale. It's property managers out there that is getting over on the landlord. And what I mean by that, I got a bill, I want to say about 2 or 3 months ago, and then the line, I was turning the unit, and then I'm looking at the line items, and then one of the line items was $25 to tighten the screw on a toilet seat. And then I'm looking like, wait, so to turn this thing 3 times, you charge me $25. And then now, of course, I see that. Now I got to go scrutinize the whole bill. And it's a lot of different things out there, especially so being having a property manager, you probably can get rehabs and stuff done cheaper if you didn't have it, but you don't have the, of course, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, effort, and the contractor list to get it done. So that's a key element when looking when you have a property manager, making sure you're scrutinizing the bills. And when it goes to property management versus self-manage, I have a few that I self-manage that's close by a single family unit, and it's because and the reason why I do it is because I've had a good rapport with the tenants. The tenants been in there, 6, 7 years, and I have that rapport with them to, you know, call me. They know to call me if something's needed, and then I have the contacts that's in my local area to get it done. But the stuff that I have out of state, of course, or forget out of state, 2 hours away in the same state. No, I'm just going to use a property manager to do that because, like you said, the time, energy, and effort for evictions, time, energy, and effort for the phone calls, and then once you get, you start getting a lot of tenants. That's a lot of phone calls if you self-managing. I mean, unless you and your spouse, have you dealing with, the management part of it, and then your significant other want to deal with managing, maintenance issues, maintenance calls, and all that. But that's a 24-hour gig because tenants are going to call 24 hours. So it like you said, it gives you a peace of mind to not have to deal with it. Yeah, do it cost money? Yeah, it do it cost money, but then it goes back to when you're writing a deal. I would always write a deal or underwrite a deal to buy a property with the inclusion of having property management in there. I will not write a deal, even if I'm going to manage it, and then say, "Oh, I'm still going to factor that 10% that property manager is going to charge me,"
Right,
because at any moment, at any time, I might have to. Oh, all right, let's go send this to a property manager because I don't want to deal with it.
right.
So that's a key element of it because it does cost money, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to give nobody no money, but do you value your time? So the 110%, 8% that you're paying the property manager, is your time worth more than that? If the answer is yes, then you get a property manager. If the answer is no, oh, that's a good fee per month, and then you want to do it, then go ahead. So, but when it comes to me, I prefer a property manager, but finding good property managers are dwindling fast. The number of good property managers that's out there is not a lot, is very few. Uh, I would not let a real estate agent manage a property of mine. That's a no-go because, of course, if it's a single real estate agent and she's managing a property, her main focus is on acquiring and buying and selling deals for her clients. Me with the 10% they getting for my one property to manage it is not enough to for them to quit doing what they're doing on their side of the house, or go make them, oh, I'm going on vacation, and then now the tenant is just out there stuck until they come back on vacation. That's why I don't want property manager. I don't want a real estate agent, a single real estate agent managing the property themselves. If you have a property management company and you have other people there to handle it, then okay. But just a single agent saying, "Oh, I can manage the property." Oh, no, the hell you can't. Not mine. You can go manage somebody else's, but not mine.
Yeah, that's crucial. Having, finding an actual good property manager. And so far, I mean, luckily the property manager that I use, I haven't had any issues. Um, they've been completely transparent. Nothing shady going on or anything. And I what I realized with utilizing property management was it kind of clicked with what you had always said is if you can acquire a deal, put it under property management, that frees up your time to where you can focus on other things. And I realized I was spending a lot of time over the small little headaches on that specific property that I put property management for. And it was taking up my time and it was just like kind of a distraction. It was like shit, like I got to get back to, worrying about this. So when I put it under management, it was like, oh, like I would ask them, hey, how's this thing going that, I was dealing with, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's resolved now," or they would give me an update on it, and I'd be like, "Oh, cool! Like I don't have to deal with it anymore." So it was kind of nice in that aspect, and if any issues come up, they handle it. They just send you, an update on what happened or whatever. So everything goes really smooth. So I would definitely, I mean, it was so smooth to the part that like now on my next deal, I'm going in with the mindset of I'm gonna get property management. So, I mean, unless it's another deal like I acquired on like the first two where, the tenants were just absolutely great and had no issues, then, property management will be used. So, with all that being said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let us know what you think. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.